Be sure to order your copy of the Go-Go Offense by Coach Brennaman on footballgameplan.com/go-go offense. Coach Marion goes through the ins and outs of his explosive offense, one that's tearing up the college football field and putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. Again, you can order your copy at footballgameplan.com/go-go offense. Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook here, and Stats, the excellent go-to source for all things FCS football, has released their preseason watch list for the Walter Payton Award, which is the FCS equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. Now, there are 25 great athletes across the country who have made the initial rankings, and I want to give my take on a few of the players on this list. Let's start with Western Carolina's quarterback Tyree Adams. The 6'2", 180-pound senior is one of the more dangerous dual-threat players in the subdivision, compiling over 9,300 yards of total offense in his career and accounting for 26 touchdowns last season. Needless to say, if the Catamounts are looking to make the playoffs, Adams will have to be exactly what he's been throughout his entire career, and that's dynamic. I like the game of Colgate's Grant Brennaman. He was a 2017 Patriot League Rookie of the Year and a first-team All-Patriot League performer last season, helping lead Coach Dan Hunt's squad to a historic season. He's another dual-threat guy that could take this Raiders team very far in 2019. In the backfield, Illinois State's James Robinson is on the radar of the Reese's Senior Bowl as one of the top prospects in the country. Head coach Brock Spack always seems to find tremendous tailbacks, and that's exactly what he has in Robinson, who led the Missouri Valley Football Conference in rushing by averaging 117.3 yards a game. He tore up Colorado State to the tune of 184 yards and 2 touchdowns en route to a Redbirds upset victory. Keep an eye on Shane Simpson, an all-purpose dynamo from Towson. He's a dangerous threat in the run game, as a receiver, and also as a kickoff and punt returner. When the ball is in his hands, it usually ends up in a big play, or better yet, in the end zone. He ranks first amongst all active players with his 4,414 yards career all-purpose yards. Wide receiver Nathan Stewart has been a sensational player for the Bearcats since stepping foot on campus. He has surpassed 1,000 yards receiving in each of his 3 seasons for Sam Houston State, and he leads all active FCS players in receptions with 182, receiving yards with 3,715, and receiving touchdowns with 31. You can expect more of the same from the 6', 180-pound senior wideout. Speaking of another senior wideout, San Diego's Michael Bandy led the FCS in receiving last season with 1,698 yards and set a Torero's record with 324 yards receiving in a Pioneer Football League title-clinching effort against Davidson. Now, Bandy is another player that's on the radar of the Reese's Senior Bowl. Another player who's on that radar and who is also coming out of the Pioneer Football League is tight end Adam Troutman of Dayton. The 6'6", 253-pound tight end is a consistent pass-catching threat that has the size to be a highly coveted player come April, and that can't come fast enough for defenders in the Pioneer Football League, as Troutman hauled in 108 career receptions for 1,379 yards and 17 touchdowns. They can't wait for him to get out of the league. Now, one notable omission to this list that's a head-scratcher for me is Howard's outstanding wide receiver Jaquez Ezzard. The Bison wideout has posted back-to-back years of averaging over 26 yards a catch, which is just a ridiculous number. Last season, he caught 40 passes for over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns in only 8 games. All 3 statistics were improvements over a 2017 season that saw him nearly hit 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, Ezzard is a highlight waiting to happen. I was on the broadcast last year for 3 Howard Bison games and watched Ezzard go berserk against Delaware State with 4 receptions, 191 yards, and 3 touchdowns for a whopping 47.8 yards a catch average. Now, Ezzard has also posted 2 200-yard games last season for the Bison. Now, to check out the full list, head over to Stats website at www.fcs.football to see all 25 players who were able to make the preseason Walter Payton Award watch list, and be sure to subscribe on iTunes, the Football Game Plan podcast, where you can find our FCS Opening Drive podcast, where David Hashagen and myself discuss the hot topics and bring you all of the analysis on all things surrounding the FCS.